Have you ever considered setting up a business in Australia? It's a country endowed with a highly skilled workforce, and its membership in the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP, provides an expansive market access. Australia consistently ranks high on the Ease of Doing Business Index, making it a favourable location for entrepreneurs. It's a land of opportunity where your business can grow and thrive. Now you must be wondering, so how exactly do you go about setting up your business in Australia? Well, hold that thought. Let's dive into that. The first step in setting up a business in Australia is to select a unique name for your company. This isn't just about branding, it's a legal requirement. Your company name sets you apart from other businesses, making it easier for customers to find you and, more importantly, for the Australian Securities and Investments Commission, or ASIC, to identify you. So, how do you ensure your chosen name is unique? You can check for name availability on the ASIC's online database. If your desired name isn't taken, it's all yours. Now let's move on to choosing a business structure. This is a critical decision because it affects your tax obligations, your personal liability, the paperwork you need to file, and even how much influence you have over the company. Australia offers a variety of business structures to choose from, each with its own advantages and considerations. Firstly, there are proprietary limited companies, which are owned by shareholders and run by directors. They're ideal for small to medium-sized businesses and offer limited liability, meaning your personal assets are protected if things go south. Next, we have public companies. These are similar to proprietary limited companies, but are open to the public to buy shares. They're suitable for larger businesses and come with stricter regulations. You could also consider partnerships, which involve 2 or more people going into business together. Each partner shares the profits, losses, and control of the business. Trusts, on the other hand, involve a trustee operating a business for the benefit of others, known as beneficiaries. It's a more complex structure, but can offer significant tax advantages. Finally, there are branch offices and representative offices. These are for foreign companies wanting a presence in Australia without setting up a separate company. With a unique name and business structure in place, you're ready for the next step. Now, it's time to appoint your company directors and a company secretary. So, who can be a director, and what criteria should they meet? In Australia, a company director must be at least 18 years old and must not be bankrupt. Additionally, a director should have a clean record, meaning no convictions for dishonesty offences within the previous 5 years. The number of directors required can vary, but a minimum of 1 is typically needed. Next in line is the company secretary, a role that is optional for proprietary companies but mandatory for public ones. If appointed, the company secretary must also be at least 18 years old and should be a resident of Australia. The responsibilities of this role include maintaining company records and ensuring company compliance with corporation law. Once you have your directors and secretary in place, it's time to take the next step in the registration process, submitting your forms and fees to the Australian Securities and Investments Commission, or ASIC. The ASIC is the regulatory body responsible for overseeing companies, markets, and financial services in Australia. You'll need to provide a number of details, including your company name, the type of company you're registering, the details of your directors and secretary, and your registered office address. The fees can vary depending on the type of company you're registering. For example, a proprietary company has a lower fee compared to a public company. These fees are paid directly to the ASIC and are a necessary part of the company registration process. Submitting forms and fees to the ASIC can be done online or through a registered agent. It's crucial to ensure that all information provided is accurate and complete to avoid any potential issues or delays with your registration. Once you've submitted your forms and fees to ASIC, you're halfway there. You're making progress and are 1 step closer to bringing your company to life in the land down under. The journey continues, so stay tuned for the next steps in the company registration process. The next step is obtaining an Australian business number, or ABN. This unique 11-digit number is your business's identity within the Australian business community. essential for various business activities, including banking, invoicing, and tax purposes. To apply for an ABN, you'll need to head over to the Australian Business Register's website. There, you'll fill out an application form with your business details and personal information. Remember, applying for an ABN is free, but it's crucial to provide accurate information to avoid any potential setbacks. Once you have your ABN, it's time to register for taxes. In Australia, there are several taxes your business might need to register for depending on its structure and projected income. The first is the Goods and Services Tax, or GST. If your business is projected to have a GST turnover of $75,000 or more, you'll need to register for this tax. GST is a 10% tax added to most goods, services, and other items sold or consumed in Australia. Next is the pay-as-you-go withholding, or PAYG. If your business employs staff or has other work arrangements, you'll likely need to withhold an amount from payments you make to them, which you then send to the Australian Taxation Office. This is known as PAYG withholding. And finally, there's the Fringe Benefits Tax, or FBT. This tax applies if you provide certain fringe benefits to your employees or their associates. This could include benefits such as allowing employees to use a work car for private purposes. Registering for these taxes can be done through the Australian Business Register website, where you initially applied for your ABN. It's important to stay on top of these registrations, as they are a vital part of running a compliant business in Australia. With your ABN and tax registration complete, you're almost ready to launch your business. The final step in setting up your business in Australia is to establish a registered office. Now, you may wonder, what exactly is a registered office? Well, this is the place where all communications and notices to the company are sent, and it must be within Australia. The address cannot be a post office box. It has to be a physical location. Your registered office doesn't need to be the place where you carry out your business activities. In fact, it's perfectly acceptable for your registered office to be the address of your accountant, solicitor, or even your own home. However, if your registered office is not at a place occupied by the company, the occupier must consent in writing to its use as the company's registered office. Now, let's talk about the principal place of business. This is different from the registered office. It's the primary location where your business activities are performed. This could be your factory, your store, your workshop, or whatever place you've chosen to run your business from. These distinctions are important because the Australian Securities and Investments Commission, known as ASIC, needs to know where they can contact you. It's a legal requirement to notify ASIC within 28 days of any changes to your registered office or your principal place of business. So, how do you establish your registered office? Well, you need to fill out a specific form from ASIC, pay the required fee, and provide the necessary documentation. This includes proof of the physical address and the written consent of the occupier if it's not occupied by the company. Once you've submitted all the required documents and they've been approved by ASIC, your registered office is officially established. And there you have it. Your business is now officially registered in Australia. Now that we've walked through the process, let's recap the key steps in registering a business in Australia. First, you'll need to select a unique name for your company, followed by deciding on the appropriate business structure. The next step involves appointing directors and a company secretary. After that, you'll submit forms and fees to the Australian Securities and Investments Commission, or ASIC for short. Don't forget to obtain an Australian business number, commonly known as an ABN. You'll also need to register for taxes and set up a registered office. Now, let's switch gears and talk about the benefits of establishing a business down under. Australia offers limited liability protection to businesses, which can safeguard your personal assets. The pro-business government policies are designed to foster growth and innovation. The corporate tax rate in Australia is relatively low, which can significantly boost your profits. Plus, there are various funding options available to support your business venture. Lastly, Australia's strong trading connections, including its membership in the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, offer access to vast global markets. With these benefits and a straightforward registration process, It's clear why Australia is an attractive location for entrepreneurs from around the world. So, what are you waiting for? Start planning your Australian business venture today.